I guess it's going. Welcome to Intro to the Command Line for Windows. We'll do kind of an intro to this one here. Again, I just want to reiterate, I don't have anything like against Windows. Windows will work just fine. It's not where I'm familiar, but this is also kind of like the only part of the whole course that's going to be different between the two. And after this, we're going to focus on code itself rather than getting set up. And if the video on installs and stuff, or this video seem a little bit funky to you, don't worry about it too much, because installs are something that we do once, usually, maybe twice. You do like once every like 4 or 5 years. You get a new laptop and use some of these things. And again, by the time that you've done this for a little bit and you're getting new laptops, things like that for this, you'll have figured out pretty well kind of how this whole process works. And it only ends up really being confusing if you change platforms, right? So again, for me right now, I've been working on a Mac for like 10 years. Moving over to Windows for these videos, it's a little bit odd because you expect certain things to happen and they don't quite happen the same way. But most things should be fairly similar. And again, later on in this course, everything should be fine. Plenty of people have taken these courses and done fabulously with both platforms and with Linux. Which, by the way, if you're working with Linux, you should be doing the Mac installs, because it's going to be much more similar. Because of computer architecture and a bunch of computer science nerdy things that don't apply here. Anyways, point is, we're going to check out the command line today. And that's going to be pretty neat stuff. So we're going to be learning to do some things inside our computer, moving around, changing things, using our command line. And so I got to figure out, Windows has some weird ways of arranging things, especially the OneDrive thing. That I actually don't like that at all. I will say straight out, I don't like OneDrive. But that's okay. What we're going to try and do, I think I should be able to go to just this PC. Should be able to go here. Program files. Yeah, cool. So we are in the right place. So from here, I should be able to go to users. And I should see me right there, okay? So now when I open up in this folder, I am actually in the same place here as I am over here. And if I do, I think dir is the Windows command. Look at that, great. So what's actually really cool about this, and you might not realize what's going on here, but I used dir, and that's essentially a command that says display a list of folders, files, and subfolders. It's actually all the directories is probably the best way you can remember that, right? So you say, I want to see all the folders, I want to see all the directories that exist here. When you do that, all these things will pop up. And so you'll notice that the only thing that's not a directory, and this tells us our file type here, the only thing that's not a directory is this conda.rc. And the rest of these, even when you look over here, these are all folders. And so what we're actually just doing is we're saying, I want to see what's in here. What you see on this screen and on this one are exactly the same. And so, which is cool. But again, what's happening here is this is what's going on under the hood, and then this, Windows Explorer, whatever it's called, File Explorer, I think it's called File Explorer. This is just a visual version of the same thing. This is just made prettier. It's actually called a graphic user interface because it's graphic and it's meant for users. This is meant for computers, right? And this is what's going on under the hood in the background, whereas this is what's going on in a way that's again arranged very nicely so that grandma can figure out, oh, if I click on downloads, that's where the downloads are, right? And again, I can go over here and I can actually say CD, which is for change directory. I can say CD, and I can go to downloads. And you can actually, so a couple cool little tricks here, right? You can type DO, and if there's something in here oh, see, there's a trick. If you press tab, it will finish whatever comes first. So we're gonna go to downloads, press tab, and we get to about the W or the N, because there's only, one thing in here that starts DOW. But it's gonna go alphabetically first. So if I just gone capital D, probably would've got a desktop first. We're gonna go to downloads, press enter. Now it's in downloads, which is nice. And so now I can say what's in downloads. I can do dir, and lo and behold, those are the things that are in my download file. I got these 8 things, which is pretty cool. Pretty cool. I'm actually going to go back up a level, and so I'm going to go change directory, and to do this, right, to go backwards, I'm actually going to do 2 periods, right? You'll also sometimes see me do cd .. It's the same thing. And here we are, same place, okay? Now, other things to note, this C is for the C drive. This is actually, I believe it's the memory that's on the actual computer. Again, Macs don't have these, so don't worry about it too much. But the C drive here, there used to be a bunch of different drives, and part of this has to do with how computers were set up. They said we need computers to use the brains of the computer, right? We need to use that brains for the computer's actual internal memory, the stuff inside of the computer. We're going to need to use the brains to read a CD. That was a different drive. I think it was a D drive or something like that. The floppy disks that they used to put in there, that was like an F drive or something. I don't remember exactly which ones they were. There were a whole bunch of different drives. They all did different things. And now the computers are kind of more united in how it uses that, and some of the architecture's changed a little bit. But that was originally how the computers kind of divvied out, the Windows computers especially divvied out the brain power, because computers are electrical, and so your electricity can only do one thing at a time. So they had to figure out how to get it to do multiple things, and they use that with these different drives. Point is, C drive is the stuff that's on your actual computer sitting around ready for you to use. So we're going to go back up here. That's delightful. And we're going to go to, let's see, we're going to go to documents, I think would be a good place to go. Yeah. CD documents. I'm here. Go to dir. Should only be the three things here. We have this dot and this dot dot. That has to do with how we're actually going up and down. So when I do C dot dot, it's actually that thing right there that actually sends me up a level. We're going to do CD intro to coding. Press enter there. And so again, this is our full file path, right? So no matter where on my computer I am, if I go C drive users, APOL-B, documents, intro to coding, it would automatically take care of that and send me to the same location, right? So I'm in here, and you can see kind of this version of this here. We don't get to see the whole thing, but again, this is just the graphic version of what we see right here. Just neat. Next thing we're gonna do, we're gonna make a folder, right? Because again, so here I could do right click, I could do new folder, or again, if I'm in the command line, I can do mkdir, new folder, and we see that it pops up right here, right? So again, we really are actually changing what's going on inside of our computer. We can CD into it. Again, I just said CDN tab, and it automatically took care of that for me. That's great. You can CD back out of it. And then I should be able to remove it. So I can say remove new folder, and it should go away. rmdir, new folder. And that gets rid of it because it's a directory rather than a file. I could probably do rm hello.py, and there's nothing there. Okay, cool. So remove directory, and I think delete. Yeah, del is going to be what we have here. A couple other things. We can do renaming something. We're going to change hello.py to greetings.py. And you can see that changes the name of it. Very nice, very cool. We could do copy. So let's do, I don't really feel like doing that one. You'll probably never use it anyways, so don't worry about that one too much. But you can copy files using command line as well. Other things, CLS is clear screen, which can help when you've got like lots and lots of stuff. Now it's not gone. Oh, it is gone on Windows. On Mac, you can scroll back up and see your former commands. It just puts this to the top of the screen, but apparently that's not the case here. So learn something new every day. Let's see, what are the contents of greetings.py? And there we go, we can see what's in there. It doesn't execute it, it just tells us what's in. We could also do Python hello.py. I think this will work. Won't allow me. Oh, because this doesn't exist, right? So Python greetings.py. There we go. Now it actually executes the file, which is cool. And this is again what's going on under the hood when we're running our files in VS Code, right? So again, we've got this greetings.py file. Hello, students. Very cool. Other things we could do is I could create a new file. I'm trying to figure out which one that is. Give me 1 second. Again, I know how to do all this stuff on Mac. Create. up. So let's try this. We're going to use a little tutorial here. I'm going to do type great, cool. So there shouldn't be anything in here. I should really do this again. And yeah, so there's nothing in there, so that's fine. And what we're going to do now is we're going to actually put some stuff in there. And again, this is kind of academic. So again, if this seems like a lot, don't worry about it because we're going to use VS Code. VS Code will be very easy to do this stuff in very soon. But these are just some commands that I'd like you to be aware that they exist, so that in the future you might get in a situation where you go, oh wait, I really actually want to do this, and then it's easier to have an idea that something exists than learning it from scratch. So that's kind of what I'm doing here, just kind of introducing the concept to you. We'll do a more deep dive into actually creating these files and using them later on. But what I want to do next is I'm going to say echo, and we're going to say print hi. We're going to do this caret thing, this angle bracket. What this is going to do is it's going to put it into something. So we're going to put this into hey.py. And what that should do, again, we can't see it right now, but now when I do type hey.py, and by the way, your up and down arrow keys will actually, oh, it actually did, I accidentally pressed enter. But you can actually go up and down your previous commands, right? So my previous command was type hey.py, but let's say I've got nothing here, I press the up arrow, and it'll actually go up to whatever the most recent commands were. I accidentally pressed enter again, which is driving me bonkers. Should be interesting now though. Let's see what's in here. Apparently nothing. So we're going to go back to the echo, put that in there, and then now I can use Python hey.py, and it prints out hi. It actually runs the file and prints that out, and now we see that that is there. So that is kind of an intro to what's going on here. Echo is just spit it back, but again, if we use that brace, then that will actually put it in the other thing. So we can just do echo howdy, and it spits howdy back out at me. So this other way, by putting print hi into hey.py, I actually take this entire piece of text and insert it into there. And so then that way it's there. When I run it, it reads that as Python and it's all good to go. But that's kind of an intro to CLI. We're going to use lots of parts of this. I just wanted you to see, there's a couple of different commands that are a little bit different on Mac here. You're not going to have to know what those are, but you are going to have to figure out, because again, I teach on a Mac, so you have to figure out how to remember, oh, he used ls on a Mac. I need to use dir instead, dir instead. But they do the exact same thing. It's a very similar process, just getting familiar with those. So don't worry about this too much. You'll get a lot more experience with this and practice with it. You don't have to memorize these. You will have them figured out by the end of the course. And again, you can Google command prompt cheat sheet, and this will pull up and you'll be able to figure that out very easily. So should be groovy, and I'll see you in the next